truth.
There are no coincidences, only the illusion of coincidence.
Welcome back to that one random podcast. I'm Cypher.
I'm Treble.
And I'm Waz.
And let's get into it. All right, so we're going to talk about today Iran. This is the 6th episode now of our series, The Great Trump Debate. And as you know, Iran, Israel, US are at war with each other. The US and Israel now 11 days ago struck Iran. And it's been absolute mayhem in the Middle East since then. Yeah. So I'm going to start this off a little bit different today. Yeah. I'm going to go to Treble first.
Yes.
Yeah. And to see, usually it's me and Waz who kick off with these conversations. But in terms of Waz, in terms of Treble, where you at with this from what you know?
Honestly, I mean, besides the last 20 minutes off record, just talking and catching up about the whole Iran situation, I've not been following it.
Yeah.
Like, there's just too much going on in the world. I mean, January, Trump takes out Maduro. That was all big hype. February, all of a sudden, Epstein happened, and nobody talks about that anymore. And then March, all of a sudden, Ayatollah's taken out. I'm too busy working. Like, the system has got me. I'm putting in 60, 70-hour weeks, overtime. I can't keep up with all the current affairs. So I think this session is really going to be needed to kind of break it down for me, because I've not been keeping up, to be honest, lads.
Yeah, it's all going down. I mean, they do say that they design society like this, so they make you have to work your ass off so many hours, and then at the same time, like you said, every day there's a change in news cycle, 24-hour news as well, keeps you like distracted away from the main things that are taking place. But in terms of what's been going down with Iran, we've seen, well, just now actually looking at Cypher's TV, Netanyahu's house has been bombed. And
his brother's been taken out.
His brother's been taken out, which is something I never thought I would hear. Actually, I didn't think
It's all kicking off.
they would be capable of doing that. But it's certainly something that we haven't seen in modern times to this level. Obviously, we've seen bombs hit Dubai, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, even Cyprus, Turkey have shot something down, I believe. So it is. It's very interesting to see it all unfold. I don't know what the outcome will be, but definitely something I hadn't predicted, that's for sure.
I guess, but ultimately, though, from what I understand, is innocent people are dying, as usual. 80-year-old leaders who are on their last kind of hurrah in politics and on the global leader schemes are killing each other at the expense of the innocent people on the boots, sending troops to die for a cause that I don't think many people really believe in. Yeah, it's just always
look, let's unpack it a little bit. For those who don't know a little about the history of this situation, let's go into it. Yeah, so let's go before the Ayatollah. Let's go, and there was a man called the Shah. Let's go before him. Let's go back to the 50s. There was a man, I can't remember his last name. I don't have a clip for it, unfortunately. I did have one. I haven't got it on the laptop. But this guy, Mohammed, whatever his name was, democratically elected by the Iranian people. And basically what he turned around and said was he's going to nationalize their oil. Iranian oil for Iranian people. It's going to, whatever we produce is going to benefit us as a country, not foreign nations. Mm-hmm. Which, of course, at the time, the BP had control of Iranian oil. They weren't happy with that. CIA, MI6 get involved. And essentially they perform a coup. Get him out of power. They put the Shah in place. The Shah, now you got to remember, in Iran, there's two types of people. You've got people who are on one side, which are very much about wanting Western democracy. And then you've got another group of people on the other side of that argument who want Islamic culture to rule, basically an Islamic state. The Shah was obviously more seen as a puppet for the West. And that's the kind of world he was building in Iran. But anyone who opposed him, they were brutally tortured, imprisoned, or even unalived. Okay, by the Shah, and he was no saint. He was a brutal man. Yeah, he was a cruelty, like a real cruel person. On the flip side, a man emerges from among the people by the name of the Ayatollah, and I'm talking more from the people that want that Islamic culture, that argument on the side.
Yeah.
He gets imprisoned about 6 times. Finally, they exile him and kick him out of the country. He makes his connections outside of the country, manages to find his way back into Iran, overthrows the Shah, but then at the same time starts doing similar things that the Shah was doing, but doing it to the other side of the argument. So those who wanted that Western democracy. But remember, That first leader by the name of Hamid, he was one that was democratically elected. The Shah was put in place by the West, but then at the same time, the Shah was a little bit, they were worried about uprising and things like that, I believe. So they thought, well, let's help this guy, the Ayatollah, take over, and that's what they did. And then regretted it later on because clearly he was who he was, right? It was complete dominance, and he wasn't playing ball with the West, basically. And now today, we still got that argument. You know, people who have exiled from Iran are generally people who actually lived in that time in Iran, or a lot of them who were probably first or second generation Iranians who were born here out in the West, but hear what their parents and their grandparents told them, and are very much still of this mindset that they want Western democracy in Iran. Whereas you've got the flip side of that as well. There's a lot of people in Iran who support the current regime and want to continue as an Islamic state with Islamic culture ruling. So that's essentially what it is in terms of history. If I gave you a quick summary of it all, I might be a little bit wrong in places and stuff like that. I'm not an expert in it, but from the things I do know, that's how it works out.
So the current regime is Islamic extremist. Is that fair to say?
It's Islamic culture.
But the regime is brutal, and the
from what I understand,
tortures and
from what I understand,
kills
they've been
for having Western ideologies of freedom. But
like they
I
don't
just want to be clear. Is that what's going on?
So the kind from what I've done my little bit of research, it's very much Islamic culture rules. Yeah. Okay. So it is an Islamic country, Islamic state. They do obviously, if you're Christian, they do allow you your faith. So it's not like they go around blowing up every single church and that's it. No, nothing but mosques up everywhere. They're protected out there. Yeah? So Christians can be Christians, but you couldn't be, if you wanted to do like a peaceful march, not like a protest or anything, but just like, I don't know, like a festival.
No Christmas, no Christmas on the streets.
It's iffy. It's iffy, and this is where I say it gets iffy. So it's really weird, right? Because when I looked into it, because obviously I saw some things on the internet, right, with some coffee shops had Christmas trees up, and I thought, hold on, what's going on here? And then when I looked in, I started talking to ChatGPT, and he's like, yes, they allow it in certain situations, but then some people don't get approval for it, and I couldn't get into the ins and outs of it. I just didn't have enough time. But ChatGPT said it wasn't as simple as that. So you allowed your faith, you're allowed your church, and churches are actually protected from anyone to be able to attack them and stuff like that. Yeah, I think you're allowed to practice in your home, you're allowed to practice in the church, but you couldn't practice out on the street. You couldn't be preaching Christianity on the street. You can't be like, say you were gonna have it was Christmas and you wanted to do a Christmas fair or something like that. I don't think that would be allowed. So, but then you might own a coffee shop, for example, and you're being allowed to display Christmas decorations. Treble. I might own one 5 miles down the road, and I've not been allowed. But that bit I've not got deep into the understanding of why.
But again,
does that make sense?
A little bit, but Iran, ancient Persia, with they got a rich history with megaliths and Astrozorianism and that whole maybe Anunnaki kind of level ancient history. Same with Iraq, with the Mesopotamia and the Babylon. And so when I see all of this going on, I feel like there is that extra layer that it's something to do with the old world order. But besides that, the current regime then has disregarded all of that history. Is that what's going on? They're saying no, all of that ancient history of colors and beauty is gone. And we need to now enforce because
I think the best way you would put it is that you've got an Islamic culture.
Strict Islamic culture. It's not like Dubai.
So the best way to put it, you've got it's a strict Islamic culture. They've loosened a little bit on certain things,
but people are getting murdered. That's what I've heard. I don't know.
I don't know how deep that. I can't say yes or no to that, Treble. I can't. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not. So
are people being brutally tortured? Because that's what I've heard. Well, that's what I've heard from an Iranian friend.
Yeah, but like they're not in the country, but they're telling family members are saying that's what's happening. But at the same time, like I said to you, when we did the Venezuela episode and we did we talked about Maduro, and then we touched on Iran a little bit, and then obviously showed you the post of obviously the former CIA director saying that for those who those Iranian protests. I wish the Iranian protesters the best, and those Mossad agents with among you.
That was weird. Obviously, Israel's going to do their bidding.
So where a lot of people are saying, "Oh, the internet got cut off." When I've looked into it recently, okay, yes, are they? The narrative was they're trying to stop the world seeing what's going on in Iran. The flip side of that as well, the other side of that argument, all right, is, well, we had to cut off the internet. We had to cut off communications within the country because that's the only way we can get the protesters, the Iranian protesters and the Mossad agents from stopping communicating with each other. Because what they were doing as well, they weren't just protesting, they were setting fire to fire trucks. And the reason why, because they were setting fire to buildings to fire. So the fire trucks couldn't respond.
Who's setting buildings?
The protesters, the Iranian protesters.
Against the regime.
And the Mossad agents.
Against the regime.
Pretty much. They weren't just protesting. It was violent. So basically, like it's like BLM. You're burning down and setting fires and wreaking havoc. And because the Mossad agents were among them, they said, right, cut the communication. The only way we could stop communication, them radioing each other and talking to each other from the other side of the freaking city or whatever, is if we just block all communication and not allow any communication through anyone on the streets.
And so this Islamic regime, but then now, because obviously we've seen that they've bombed all these surrounding countries. I get that there's U.S. military bases in these countries like the Kuwaits, the Qatars, and so on. But these are also Muslim countries, are they not?
But they're also they're yeah, but okay.
Tell us. Sunni. Okay, all right, someone break that down for me.
I don't know. All I'm going to say to you though, Kuwait, Saudis, Qatar, Dubai, Talmudic, bro, the ones that run the country. I still haven't got into that podcast with that guy. It's like 3 hours long, right? And he talks about it in there deep, and he goes deep with it.
I have heard that.
That's why. Like I know Muslims out here, girls out here, hair out, makeup on, drink on the weekend, all that sort of stuff, and they can't stand those the ones that lead those countries, especially Saudis, because they said, and I've got to the bottom as to why they're like that. It's weird. It's like, look, I have to get into that podcast and break it down and get some clips out of it to be able to talk that one. That's a separate episode altogether. But at the same time, you've got to remember who are they aligned with, right? So in those countries, they have got US bases, and what they've attacked is the US bases. Now, obviously, Waz is obviously going to touch on the point of innocent people like hotels and stuff, resorts have been attacked. Because I know that I've got someone who works for me, her daughter's stuck in Dubai because they're right outside the hotel, a missile dropped.
Have you got that video of the there's like a drone that hits into a hotel and it's like English guy?
No, I've got.
See if you can pull that one. Let me see.
What country was that?
It was in But explain to me then. So Trump's obviously Iran has a brutal
it's strategic. From Iran, it's strategic.
The day.
So basically, from my point of view, right, which I've said as well to Waz before in our group chat, that what Iran's doing is strategic, right? So if you're aligning yourself with those countries and you're not directly getting involved, but you're indirectly getting involved by allowing to use your country and set up bases which they already have in place in those countries, and actually you're going to think, well, hold on, that's just places for the US to set up their military bases. They're set up to attack us. So why allow that to happen? Let's just take them out, and that's what they've done. They've taken them out. So it's a strategic move, but that strategic move, it's going to have casualties as well. It's like, which war doesn't? Which attack? Like, if there was a base just outside of London, I'm saying just like literally outside of London, and they struck that, for example, someone in London's getting it as well. Like some civilians going to get hurt. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. We don't want it. People are dying, but end of the day, it's going to happen. But like, have you got it? You just sent it through.
Yeah, I sent it.
Yes, I mean, it's definitely there's going to be mass casualties everywhere in every war. But if we touch on because you said they're Muslim countries, why they're bombing it, there's that fundamental difference between the Sunni and Shia sects of the religion, and they're always clashing. They've been clashing since hundreds of years, let's just say, because of how the religions come about. So Sunnis have a different idea of how the religion continues after the death of Muhammad. Essentially,
right.
Whereas the Shias believe it stays in the family. This is the very basic 101 level of understanding. Explain. They believe that it stays in the family. So I don't know if it was his cousin or his brother or whatever, but they believe that would by default stay he would be the leader of the faith, right? But that whoever his relative was killed by what is now the Sunnis, and then they continued the religion. So there's always that conflict.
So what? You're saying the Shias is the original?
It's a controversial one, but from my only basic level understanding, it sounds like it would be, but overall, there's more Sunnis in the world than there is Shias.
And the Ayatollah is what?
Shia. So Iran is a Shia country in general.
They consider themselves like or original lineage.
In a way, they follow somebody who was related to the Prophet. That makes sense. Whereas Sunnis is after the Prophet died, it was somebody else.
Which one? Because I have heard again, basic 101 level Shia Sunnis. One of them is a bit more extreme, is it, for lack of better words. Like one is the one where they'll chop your hand off for stealing. Is that correct, or am I butchering it?
Kind of, I don't know. I think it's country dependent, man, because Saudi is like a Sunni country, but then so is Turkey, so is Kosovo, and the rules and regulations in all three of those countries are very different from each other. But then you've got like Shia.
So should we play this clip? No, you just sent it to.
This clip out. You guys are talking about the
Ready?
hotels.
So this is the one, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm doing it. No joking, guys. We have just been hit by a drone. We have it coming. It stinks of oil in here. I didn't even finish my cup of tea. We've just been hit by a drone. We're in Ward 1 on the top floor.
Typical
19th floor.
Brit, innit?
We're on.
That's it, yeah?
Stinks of
Yeah.
oil. Didn't even finish
Yeah,
my
I'm
cup
doing
of
it.
tea. Crazy, man. The whole drone.
Will they be shilling for Dubai on Instagram anymore? You know, they wanted to fly out.
It's a mad place as well. You heard about that? The like what these princes do for these models that they send over.
Yeah, Dubai chocolate. That's have you heard the story about Dubai chocolate?
No?
So Dubai chocolate was initially what's been happening, where the sheikhs will fly them out and then take a shit on the chicks for like £10,000.
I heard it was like 200 grand. They would give you 200 grand to take a
Maybe then I said they are 200k.
No, they do some nasty shit. So I've heard, you know, they basically, no, but the girls get taken out there, right? This is the
Yeah,
scam. So naturally, they pick them up on Instagram, all these booty shakers out there. They invite them out, fly them out, put them in nice hotels, wine and dine them, and do all that sort of shit. Then they say, oh, we're going to go to a party in the desert. They drive them out to the desert, and there's a whole bunch of horny men there, yeah? And then what they do is they say, right, because they're paying them, we're paying you to be here, so we want you to do this for us. So shitting in bucket, or doing all that kind of stuff, or peeing and all that sick stuff, yeah? If one of the models turns and says, well, I don't want to do this, I'm not doing this, okay, fine, you can leave. And then, okay, and then they go outside to leave, but then in the middle of the desert. So then they'll say, okay, to the driver, you're going to take me home? No, haven't been instructed to take you home. And then the person will say, then someone will say, well, if you want to go home and you don't want to participate, you can walk. If you're going to stay, you're participating. So they've got no choice but to do it.
Yeah.
That's the scam.
That's haram, bro. That's haram. They can't do that. And these guys claim to be Muslims. That's wild, isn't it?
It is. But, so the name Dubai chocolate was referring to them getting shot on, yeah?
Yeah, but loads of people claim to be something. Some people claim to be Hindus and this and that.
enough,
Come on,
enough.
man. They
Yeah,
claim
that's
to be
true, yeah.
Christians.
At the end of the day,
Doesn't a priest, a Catholic priest, or whether it's an Orthodox priest or whatever priest, Christianity, or a Hindu priest or a Sikh priest, loads of them do it.
that's true.
They're preaching one minute, and the next minute they're
Touching
committing a
kids
crime
and
and doing
shit,
shit.
yeah, it's bad.
Come on, man.
But in order to counteract this negative PR related to the words Dubai chocolate, they released the new Dubai chocolate.
No.
Yeah. This is that's what.
Oh, you know what? I remember, like, I remember, right? You know, like, I remember seeing that when I walked into M&S. They had a Dubai chocolate. Was it last year or the year before?
It's everywhere now.
Yeah, they're proper promoting that Dubai chocolate shit.
They've been pushing it hard.
To the counter, they
Create a Dubai chocolate, which is made in Turkey, by the way, most of them. So
Wow.
that Turkish kind of whatever it's
so
that ingredient in it.
they create something. It's not even made in Dubai, but it's called Dubai chocolates. So that when everyone hears the word Dubai chocolate, they think, oh yeah, that green thing, rather than some Instagram model getting shat on. But
To be fair, fucking smart though, isn't it? It is smart. You can't knock them for what they've done. They're smart.
200. But to be fair, 200 grand.
Katie Price has a picture of her with like shit on her chest.
That's crazy.
It's mad.
No.
Yeah.
So this stuff
I
is,
gotta laugh.
you know what I mean? Like, this stuff is going on, and then still world leaders are trying to kill each other. Like,
Oh, bro, that's too much, bro. I've got this image. I've got this image of Katie Price that just splattered with shit all over her.
Nasty behavior, honestly.
Oh man, shit, no. All right, listen, look, let's get back on track. Yeah, we got off a little bit there. We got a bit random there, but it's all right. Let's get back on track. All right, so Treble, you feel a little bit more in the loop.
a bit more in the loop, but again, like as I said, there's just so much, and there's so many layers. And let's be honest, we're not being told the full story.
So you know what?
So-
Let's move on to Cypher's take. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Right. So yeah, listen. Look, me and Waz have been debating hard recently. Yeah. Right. As we always do.
You
Yeah.
guys are debating. I like literally. Yeah, I'm at work. I open my
It's
WhatsApp.
100 messages.
100 messages and like guys, I'm not reading all of this. I'm not listening to all of this. Someone will catch me up and I come back on, and then a couple hours later 100 messages again. No, not in it, save it for the episode.
But right, so like, and I thought to myself, like I could get into this whole conversation: who's right, who's wrong, who's not. At the end of the day, people are dying, whatever, you know. And that's the sad thing about it, yeah, on either side of the argument. But then I thought, you know what? That's too much of a normie level conversation for me. I've been talking about certain things over the last 16 years, and I need to get back to that because that's the message I'm trying to convey to people. Yeah, Treble. Before Waz jumped onto the team, we used to do episodes on Trump. Yeah. And I remember one episode I said to you there was one thing that I felt like Donald Trump was going to bring about. Do you remember what it was?
No, but
You might want to keep the mic.
World War III.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
The first term, in my opinion, when I did kind of, because I believed in the hype. I'm not gonna lie, that first term was great,
but the first time was all about sucking you in.
sucking us in, and then they hit us with COVID. They put Biden in, really bring it down, and they went to the point where you're gonna be begging for Trump back.
But where did
They bring him in, and then they fuck.
But what,
It is smart. It is smart.
Next question. Yeah. If we keep the mic. Yeah. Next question. I also told you where that was going to take place, where World War III would kick off. What did I say?
I remember Iran, probably
Israel, right?
Israel.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
Right.
Well, the
Okay.
Israel and US is the same.
And I've been saying this for years and years and years, right? So I've got two posts up here, right? One is one that Waz shared with us in our group chat, and one is one that I found on Instagram, right? So I'll read Waz's one out, yeah? So anyone saying Israel sucked us into another war literally has no understanding of geopolitics or how President Trump plays ball. We just took out China's two top oil suppliers in less than 60 days. They desperately need this oil to continue their geopolitical rise. Russia just lost its key supplier in cheap drones and weaponry. They need for a war in Ukraine. Trump is playing and winning the biggest game of America first 4D chess that any president has ever played in U.S. history. So yeah, I get where they're coming from with that. Yeah, it does make sense, right? If you're looking at it from a normie point of view, right? Then you got to look at the post on the left, which you kind of touched. I think you touched.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that on television.
So I'm going to read that out, right? Which we got Homer Simpson here, and he's got a placard, and he's on that placard. It says, in 2000, meaning the year 2000, there were 9 countries without a Rothschild-owned central bank: Iran, Iraq, Cuba, Syria, Libya, Sudan, Venezuela, Afghanistan, North Korea. Out of those countries, all right, Venezuela, went back a year ago before Trump came back into power. It was Iran, Cuba, Venezuela, yeah, and North Korea. So far, Venezuela's kind of been taken and
Under occupation.
They're now working on putting in the system they want,
Yeah.
right? Cuba is pretty close. Is closely followed because Cuba right now is under economic sanctions. It has blockades in place. They're stopping things from going in, out, etc., and all that. Won't be long before they have Cuba as well. All right. North Korea is like the sleeping monster that no one wants to poke just yet because he's militant over there. That Kim Jong, whatever his name is, and Iran is currently in play. Okay. Which 2 countries were named in Waz's post that aren't named in this one on the left?
China.
And Russia. Right. It's fair to say that, which I've always said, yeah, I've always said China is the prototype for the world of how they want it to look. Yeah. Those two countries are already under their control. Yeah. Iran might think they're friends, they're not. Yeah. The world is a stage. Yeah. They're the actors and we're the spectators that they're manipulating.
Well, this is
right
what we
now.
said last time, the Maduro episode. Like I came across some stuff said like these guys are buddies behind the scenes.
So
like,
so none of those guys are gonna lose the one that was unallied was the Ayatollah who's not part of the club. Yeah, you got to get rid of him, right? Because you want to take control of that region, right? And then you got to look at things like the Greater Israel Project, yeah, which is basically expanding Israel.
it's no secret either.
And I turned around and said, like, if you're talking about one world order, then you have to look at it from the point of view that I also said, and I have been for the last 16 years, that Israel will be the capital of that new one world government. And right now, I can't say anything other than I've not been wrong so far. How this plays out will determine whether I'm 100% right or whether I'm pretty much off. But it's all playing out the way I've always believed it to. Now, I can get into these debates with Waz if I want to, but at the same time, I've got to think to myself, like, hold on, I need to get back on track in my head of how I see the world. Yeah? And I'm not knocking Waz's opinion. And that's why I've probably been a bit more diplomatic in terms of when we're talking opposed to what we've been discussing in the group chat. Because in my head, I'm like, well, actually, this is where my real focus is. I'm not going to turn around celebrating or encourage other people to celebrate, regardless of what side you're picking, of our own enslavement. Because they're building into that digital world, that digital trap. This is all included in that. Now, what comes now? If you have that World War III, what else is going to come with that World War III? Because what are they talking about right now? And you won't pick up on this because you're not all over it. I don't know if you've seen it, Waz, but now they're talking about global economic collapse and crisis.
It's happening.
Which is starting to take place. So we're all going to be a lot more poorer. Remember what I told you? Desperation, right? Hyperinflation. Bam, 50% on your loaf of bread now. Loaf of bread cost me £2 yesterday. Well, it's £4 now, mate. Hold on, last week it cost me £5. It's £6 now, mate, for that loaf of bread. Yeah, I went to a pub recently. I paid £7.50 for a pint. Ridiculous. Yeah, £7.50 for a pint in Ealing. Like,
but is that us just being brokies? Or how does it work?
nah, bruv. Like, come on, man. No way.
I agree. It's fucked.
On the
It's
money,
fucked,
I've
innit?
never. I could go out on a night out, and 20, 30 quid. I could buy the rounds all night long. Like, I still wouldn't say no now, but like, you get what I'm trying to say? I just feel like I could be wrong. I always say this as a caveat. I could be wrong. I'm not going to say I'm always 100% right. But right now, I feel like that's where we're leading to. So I'm going to play a clip. Or I'm going to play two clips, actually. And the second one's actually quite funny, yeah? So this is Professor Zhang. I think that's how you pronounce it. Check him out on YouTube, guys. I would encourage you to check him out as well, because this guy talks a lot of
Send the
sense
link.
of his channel. Professor Zhang, that's what the channenn's called. Just check it out. Seriously, good guy.
Chinese guy. Is it like
Yeah,
X-I-A-N-G?
he's from the it's Jaing
Okay,
or whatever, Zhang, something like that. Spelled like that, yeah. But he literally is pretty much predicting everything. Yeah, and he said this a couple of years how this is all going to play out, and it looks like it's starting to play out like that. But there's two clips I'm going to play. The second one's pretty funny. You're going to find it quite funny, yeah, and there's a reason why. But yeah, let's hear what he has to say first, yeah?
You have Israel fighting wars everywhere, okay? The main enemy right now is Iran. In Europe, you have the Europeans about to go to war
When was this
with
posted?
Russia
2026.
in Ukraine. America,
So this is his prediction of 2026.
Well, when was
so
the
he
video
did this like a
posted?
year ago.
Okay.
So he's been predicting this for like years
Yeah, I
now.
was gonna say this is before the whole Iran
No,
thing, yeah?
yeah.
Okay.
right now,
He's been
is
predicting this for years. Like last year, he predicted exactly what's happening in the Middle East right now.
All right, go on.
threatening to attack Venezuela, okay? South America. You have 10% of the U.S. Navy in the Caribbean, and they're about to attack Venezuela. You have China and Japan at conflict. You have India here. And you have Africa, okay? So what's gonna happen in the short term? Okay, well, what we know is that Europe is planning to go to war with Russia. Okay? Europe is about to go to war with Russia, okay? At the same time, you have a lot of immigrants in Europe. And this is going to create civil wars in Europe, okay? Civil war. So you have both war with Russia as well as civil war. So Europe is kind of screwed, okay? America has the same situation where the left-right divide is so polarized that eventually they'll go to war. If you read the news, you may have heard about the shootings at Brown University, as well as this MIT physicist who was shot, okay? So random violence will be more and more common in the United States. And you can argue that it's all deliberate because the idea is this. Let's just say you have a jar. You put red ants in a jar and black ants in a jar. They get along fine. But you take the jar and you just shake it up, and now they're at war with each other, okay? That's what's happening where the left and right, they really don't like each other. They don't talk to each other, and they refuse to engage in debate with each other. But they're not gonna fight each other unless there's violence, in which case their tribal mentality takes over and they start killing each other, okay?
All right, so that's Professor Zhang. That wasn't a whole video of his lecture, but that was kind of like a summary of what he was talking about. There is another clip I'm going to play now. Hopefully you had a problem with this earlier on, so hopefully it will work now. But he was on Breaking Point on YouTube, which is like a news outlet media. Yeah, so I think you might have seen this, yeah. But I was in hysterics when at the end of what he says. It was one of those moments where if you look at the presenters, they were like, "Oh God, get him off the air right now." Moments, yeah. So let's just watch what he has to say there.
Understand, because it still feels to me like there's some pieces that don't totally add up. You had in advance of this war on Iran, you had top military brass up to the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff saying, this is a really bad idea. We are not ready for this. All the math on the interceptors that's been talked about for months at this point. And yet Trump still decided to go ahead. What is the calculus that he was making here that led him to take what already appears to be catastrophic actions?
Right, okay. So this is the key question. Why did they do this? I think there are three possibilities, okay? And I think all three possibilities are valid. The first is the idea of hubris. If you look at history, this is how empires behave. So the Mindoro kidnapping was quick, successful, and it was adrenaline rush for Trump. And that made him overconfident in the capacity of the American military, okay? So hubris is a factor, and we see this throughout history. Why did Hitler invade Stalin? Because he conquered Europe really easily, and he thought he was invincible, right? And that led to the destruction of the German army in the Soviet Union. So hubris is a factor. Then you have to look at internal political calculus, where even though America does not benefit from this war against Iran, Trump himself personally benefits. Why? Because the Saudis and the Israelis are bribing him to attack Iran. Remember that the Saudis invested $2 billion in the private equity fund of Jared Kushner, who is the son-in-law of Donald Trump. And the Israelis, through Miriam Adelson, have been financing Trump's political career, right? So Miriam Adelson, a few months back, said that she will put up $250 million if Trump were to run a third term. So Trump is getting a lot of financial and political support from the Saudis and the Israelis. Also remember that if this war goes sideways and Trump is forced to use ground troops, he will probably get approval from Congress, and this will give him emergency war powers, which will allow him to influence the midterms. So Trump is thinking about a third term. And I think at the ballot box, he probably won't get it. But if there's a war going on and you can delay elections and you have emergency war powers and people rally around the flag, then he probably will get a third term. And the last factor that is very important is the eschatological factor, where if you look at the Epstein files, it's clear that we are run by secret societies. It's clear that the world is run by these individuals who have a lot of power. We don't know who they are, but they control the military. They control the national security apparatus. And these people, there are different names for these people. You can call them the Illuminati. And the Illuminati are composed of three major groups, okay? You have the Jesuits, who control the Vatican. You have the Sephardim Frankists, which control the modern state of Israel today. And you have the Freemasons, which control the national security apparatus of the United States. And they believe that Israel, this war in the Middle East, is key to the end times in creating heaven on earth. So it's almost like a script that they're following, even though it doesn't make any geopolitical sense. Okay, so I would say that these three are the best reasons why this is happening.
Wow. Well, sir, I hope you come back. This was very
Quickly got him off there.
Holy crap! That guy just dropped it all, man.
He went in.
He went scorched earth, mate.
Yeesh. He what did they say? He does not have unalive thoughts.
Yeah. But like,
God.
so and that's where I'm at with all of this right now. And I'm just sitting there like not eating popcorn watching it, but just watching it and saying like this is playing out exactly.
I've heard they said like Trump's going to be the last president. That was a prophecy.
But I said that to you as well. Didn't I? Remember I said that to you before Waz jumped. I said that I believe he'll be the last one.
I've heard that, and you know, we spoke about this last time in one of the Trump episodes. But like, if you look at Trump's birthday, I don't know if you've seen the numerology to it. So everything's all in the occult. It's all symbolism and numerology and esoteric kind of knowledge. And when you look at Trump's birthday when he was inaugurated, so how many years and dates his birthday to his inauguration day back in what 2016 was it? You know how old he was? He was 77 years and 7 months old in 2016 when he was. Look it up. Look it up.
He'd be 87 now.
When was his inauguration day?
Hold on.
See if you can pull that up. Find out. Ask ChatGPT maybe even. And it's really, really weird. You can do that, yeah. See when you can say Trump.
9 years old.
Trump's inauguration day.
Inauguration.
Inauguration. It was on what day? January something. 20th of January.
Where?
I think it was from the first inauguration.
Second inauguration was on the January the 20th of 2025.
What was the first
It
one?
was the first inauguration.
Yeah. This is some real conspiracy now, isn't it? But
First inauguration.
Yeah.
First time. Yeah.
yeah, the date. January 2017. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now minus his birthday from that number. Ask ChatGPT even. Open up ChatGPT.
Yeah. My ChatGPT is slow on it, man. Do it on your phone.
Oh, okay. Trump's birthday, or Google up Trump's birthday.
His birthday.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Open a new tab.
Donald
Trump birthday.
Trump. Birthday.
14th of June 1946. Now open another tab.
Yeah.
And say 20th of January. Was it 20th of January? Yeah, 20th of January.
Yeah.
2017.
2017.
Yeah, 20th.
20th.
Yeah, January 20th.
I've already put.
You put the second.
Oh right, shit. Yeah.
Minus, so 20th of January 2017 minus
Yeah.
his birthday, which was it 14th of June?
Trump's birthday?
Yeah,
Or-
Trump's birthday.
Okay, shit. I saw what he come up with a
Date calculator.
time files where the new Trump horror. I'm trying to see if there's
Nah.
a video here for something. First of all, it doesn't really give you anything.
Yeah, do date calculator, add to subtract from a date. So start date 20th of January.
Of 2017.
2017.
Yeah.
Subtract.
Oh my God, I don't even know what I'm looking at. Subtract. Yeah. How many do you want to?
Wow. How can we subtract the day?
What are you trying?
calculator,
I'm
date
trying to
calculator.
understand what you're trying to do though.
Okay, so basically, yeah, he was 77 years old, 7 months and 7 days
Where?
till his inauguration.
His last one.
His first one. Was it 2025?
First inauguration was
2016, 2017.
Okay, that's
Yeah, his first inauguration, was 2017, January 20th, 2017.
Yeah.
9 years ago. And now.
Because the election was 2006, won it in that November, right?
Yeah, he won it.
And then he gets in power. New president always starts in January, right?
Yeah,
In the
yeah.
following year.
January 2016, yeah.
Oh, so what was his inauguration this term?
2025.
2025.
So yeah, January 20. Yeah, again, same again. January 2025. You got to do the maths better, bro.
Right. All right.
Apologies to the viewers. Trouble screwed it.
I'm gonna come back to that.
There's some conspiracy around this. Unless there's the video you've got, that would help the situation a lot. That would help.
The flat Earth maths. Oh,
If I find a video, I'll send it.
You joker.
Fuck.
You made me laugh. I didn't even know what your point was there now. So what is your point? Just summarize it.
So basically, the numerology to Trump being the president
Yeah.
on his actual inauguration day, and I will find a video to kind of like prove it to you. He was 77 years old, 7 months, or 70 years old, 7 months and 7 days. Like
Yeah.
exactly, which is a 777. And in the occult world, 777 is the jackpot. So if you look at any, say, slot machines, 777 is the jackpot.
Yeah.
You got 666, which you could say is the
The more is the Satan. Yeah.
is that number, and then one above is going to be 777. And so one guy was looking at it from the perspective of Trump is the savior. According to the numerology, Trump is the savior. He's the 777. He's the jackpot. We've hit the bingo, yeah? But then another guy came and said, well, who is he the savior for? Is he the savior for the people? Or is he the savior to these elite occult
Good
groups?
argument.
And I think the way it's playing out, I think he might be their savior. Because at the end of the day, man, they're also saying he's gonna be the last president. He's gonna initiate the World War III, and yeah, it's all prophecy. I will find a video that proves that it's a biblical prophecy.
Yeah, I don't know all about like that. I've not got into that deep. I'm just going off the stuff that I have seen and researched over the years of how it's supposed to all pan out, and the way it's panning out is exactly how I've talked about it for years. And then, but not only that, and the same, and this is the point I'm trying to make, is I'm trying to get away from that normie conversation as much as I can, because at the end of the day, when I'm staring at the TV and YouTube and whatever, all I keep saying, they're like, shit, this is playing out exactly how I said it would. But not only me, so many other people said it would play out. You know, you talk about Alex Jones, you talk about David Icke, you talk about whoever you want to talk about, over the years who've been labeled conspiracy theorists and nut jobs. It's playing out like that.
I just can't see why they would all want to die, though. I can't see why they would all want the world to end. It doesn't make sense for their own personal benefit. And we know that humans are driven by their own benefit. That's just a fact. That's just survival.
I don't think they want it. They don't want it.
Well,
that's why they got all these bunkers and stuff.
They need us, though, regardless of, like, okay, AI.
How
they still
many
need
of us
us.
do they need?
How many of us do they need? Exactly. No, they need enough people, bro.
I've said,
What,
so I
500 million?
think the number was,
There's
when you look
elites
at it,
around the world. It's not just US and UK elites. Like, that's what I always say. It's a battle between the elites in the world. So
I definitely see that as well.
yeah.
The battle of the elite.
that's why China are untouchable right now, because they got their own elites. The Vatican is a little sneaky one because they're going to get involved in conflicts. Switzerland probably got some crazy elites there as well, because they're able to stay neutral as long as money flows through there. You've got elites in the US who are higher or stronger power than the president. You've got Freemasons here in the UK, the highest cartel bosses in South America. So all this conflict you see is just elites going at it. But fundamentally, they need pawns on the chessboard, and that's where we are. You can't play chess without them. That's just the reality of the game. So as much as they want to put AI in and stuff like that, they're still going to need human beings to build houses, to build more buildings, whatever it is that they want to do. Yeah, they need chefs, they need PTs, they need everything. They need doctors. Yeah, AI can help to do this and make it easier and reduce the amount of people needed to do that.
So obviously you remember the Georgia Guidestones, which I've got on the screen right now.
Yeah.
So what does it say? The top one was maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature.
Yeah, I remember that. Sit down, right?
They knocked it down during COVID.
Yeah.
Because too many people were going towards it and saying, eh. Apparently, I don't know if I've still got the clip, but apparently they put up another one up in Japan.
What, new ones?
Yeah.
All right.
Smaller, but still same thing.
Sorry to do it again. If you've still got that date calculator app, I will just prove it quickly.
Hold on.
Because it is biblical prophecy is what they're talking about. And obviously, Trump's come in. We still got the date calculator.
Give me a this off because
Because like I've got an article here, and it's and what the Jewish year was as well might be interesting. Date calculator, yeah, date calculator.
that's what you wanted, yeah.
Right, so put in 20th of January.
Yeah.
2017.
Yeah.
Now, it was obviously giving us only the options to add or subtract. So let's subtract 70 years.
Yep.
7 months.
Yep.
And 7 days.
7 days, no weeks, yeah.
Nope.
And then calculate.
And in theory, that should be the day he was born.
Okay.
So 13th of June, 1946. So if you
Was
just
that the
want
date?
it was the date. Is this what I'm trying to say?
Right.
Just to confirm it, yeah. Trump's birthday.
Trump's birth date. Damn. Okay.
14th of June, yeah.
Yep.
And we've just proven.
And that is literally what it says there. Results.
Yeah.
13th of June it actually says, but
Again, it depends on on the hours and and stuff like that, right? So Donald Trump was 70 years old, 7 months and 7 days old the day he became president of the United States in 2017, and that is also the Jewish year 5777. So with the biblical significance of the numbers 7, 17, 17, 7, 7, many believers found this curiosity at least vaguely prophetic. And with his recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital, Trump has certainly played a role in the unfolding prophetic restoration of Israel. Obviously, this is a whole article that's going to go deep into it, but it's weird. It's weird. You can't deny that. That's weird.
Okay.
Like, what is the
They're
chance?
strange.
Of that?
Yeah, I don't believe in coincidences.
And that's what I'm trying to say.
And we don't because
And-
you look at our intro. Our intro says it all. Yeah,
There are no coincidences.
There are no coincidences. Only the illusion of it.
But my point, though, was that significance. Normally, might think, oh, it's just a coincidence. But the question is he the savior for the people? Or is he the savior for the prophecy and that elite or secret society groups and stuff? And that's where it's kind of like, maybe in the first term, I actually was thinking he was going to be the savior of the people. I really wanted to believe.
Because he was coming off.
It was
that
good
way.
times, man. It was good times.
that's our point.
Normality was restoring.
But
by the plan. Like, what is
you
the...
got sucker you in, man.
He did suck
But
it.
look,
Like-
let's go to a smaller level of this sort of tactic. Yeah, look at Andrew Tate. Yeah, got all these people on his side. Yeah, talking about the system, the matrix, this and that. You know, even if you're someone who's struggling with women or whatever it might be, he's now getting you on the side as well. And look at recently what's happened to him. Yeah, complete downfall. You know, I mean, they've got to bring them all down, innit, at some point.
Oh yeah,
because
The fight was a humiliation ritual.
yeah, and more than that, because obviously he went to that club with Sneeko and what's his name, your boy Nick,
yeah.
and the club started playing that Kanye song. I'm not going to say the Kanye song, but it's about the Jays. Yeah. So like we can't say it, man. This definitely won't go. He was talking about the Jays.
Talking about the Jays a lot, bruv.
No, but in the song, it's a song about them. And he's talking about a certain man with a mustache in Germany once as well.
Okay, fine. I
Okay,
need to look into
it's
this.
called High. The song's called High.
All right.
It's called that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, if I waved my arm up in the air and did that salute to you, yeah, and the man in Germany is who they saluted once like that.
Yeah,
They said a word, 2 words, yeah.
Okay.
That's what the song's entitled, and they were singing it in the club. He then literally the next day went on the PBD podcast, and I think he got summoned, basically. So the Zionists said, PBD, get him on your show and humiliate him maybe more and get him to apologize. And he started apologizing. But he said it wasn't really my fault. These young kids, they just don't blah, blah, blah. But yet there's another video of him months before in getting into his Bugatti playing the same song.
Who's the real one left? Nick?
I don't even trust him. I told you I don't trust no one, bro. Not 100%. The one man that's probably got a lot of my trust is David Icke, and I don't even trust him 100%, bro.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a YouTube channel now, so it's like once you're able to be on a channel, or on,
You're verified.
Yeah, you know, but then there's also loads of people who have been put back on as well, haven't they? So like, you can even put up an Alex Jones video now if you wanted to. If Alex Jones wanted to try and get back on YouTube, he could.
but Mouthy Buddha can't.
Who's Nafi Buddha?
He made
heard the name.
Pedogate 2.0 and
It's on
Yeah,
BitChute.
but
And
bruh,
BitChute got banned.
Yeah, I watched that. But come on, let's be real. Unless you got a VPN, you can still watch BitChute, guys. Trust me.
Yeah.
Use a VPN.
yeah, use a
You
VPN,
can still get there.
That's true, but he ain't on YouTube, innit?
But
You won't get approved for YouTube.
But at the same time, yeah, like, come on, someone like that who's revealing that sort of truth, we ain't never getting back on.
never. No, but that's the point.
But
exactly,
that's
yeah.
what point. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't trust everyone. That's why you got to research everything people say. So like, even if Jimmy Dore or Kim Iverson, who I've sent you videos of, and you've obviously sent stuff about them and who's paying them and who's you don't know, do you?
It's true.
So whatever you're we've said this before, haven't we, Treble? Whatever you're listening to, whoever you're listening to, yeah, make sure you're researching everything they're telling you, because if you're not researching it yourself, then don't buy into it.
Because it sounds good, but that
It sounds good, but don't be lazy with it, because you could be buying into something that's a complete part of the agenda. So make sure you fact check everything yourself.
True. I mean, there's a lot of paid for people online, especially. I mean, Tucker Carlson is exposing himself. I've been saying this for a while, though, with Tucker Carlson. I think he's paid by Qatar.
How'd you come to that conclusion?
But I mean, there's.
Well, I had to say, but you know what? At the same time, do you know what, bro? Let's be real, yeah. When he went to interview Putin, he did a pussy job of it. Yeah, let's be real, yeah. Because even Putin, you know what he turned around and said? He goes, "I'm surprised he was so soft on me." He was expecting an actual, real challenge.
Yeah.
From Tucker, yeah. Like, he wasn't like, "I'm not scared. Come on, you say what you want to. You ask me what you want to ask me." And do you know what I mean? He was up for like a proper debate with him, and all he got was softy questions about this and that. And he started giving historical references and history lessons, Putin. And I was like, what is this? But so he could be getting paid by them as well for you.
Well, I mean, how did he get the interview in the first place is something to say. I mean,
exactly. How many people get that interview?
That's exactly that. And Putin knew that he failed to get into the CIA. Tucker's dad was in the CIA. So,
did he?
Yeah, at the beginning.
No, but I'm saying,
did he fail? Did he fail?
He ended up being a presenter for Fox News. Did he? Because let's not forget, there is Operation Mockingjay, which CIA have also admitted that back in the 70s they did run that.
Well, that's why I'm.
So for those who don't know what Mockingjay is, actually, should I play a 7-minute clip of it?
Mockingjay, yeah, I don't know. What
should we? Yeah, should we play it? Yeah, all right.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, that's why I'm also suspect of Alex Jones, because obviously he's CIA background. It's like, come on, how did you get into Bohemian Grove? Realistically, you really snuck in.
Somebody recently also went into Bohemian Grove though. Reddit. You can get in. You actually can, but he just happened to actually see some sort of ceremony taking place. Yeah, so is it controlled opposition? Could be.
That's not to say that he's not going to drop truth bombs.
Yeah.
You know, same with Ike. He's dropping truth bombs. But you know what? With Ike, because I've read a few of his books, but he downplayed Flat Earth so hard that's just made me suspicious. Because imagine, you've done the research into whatever topic, and then this other guy is obviously telling you all the conspiracies that you want to know. You know, and like, he was going so crazy about it as well. He's like, on one page, he's talking about the monarchy is actually infiltrated by reptilian, shape-shifting, demonic entities, and they trickle it down through the banking systems, and then all the way, and he's breaking it down. It sounds fucking crazy, right? Yeah, we're talking about the queen shape-shifting into a lizard, right? At the core, that sounds crazy, right? Yes or no?
Yeah, but that's the point where I not switched off listening to him, but I didn't listen.
Cool, but
I didn't go deep into that point. I just thought, I'm not going down that rabbit hole, because if I go down that rabbit hole, I'm not going to come out.
It's deep.
Yeah,
but he also has evidence, and he backs it up, and it's a thick book. Yet he will also say in that very book, "Flat Earth. Come on, have we not passed that already? How stupid that you have to be to still believe the Earth is flat? We know that it's a globe." Yet when you actually research Flat Earth, and I'm not, that's a whole nother conversation. But the point is, if you've done the research, you know that the evidence for the globe is ridiculous, and it's also part of a satanic agenda. So for him to say on one page, demons are running the world and they're shape-shifting lizards that infiltrate the monarchy and society, and then say Flat Earth is bullshit, I just thought, well, okay, you're a gatekeeper. To me, at least, you're a gatekeeper. You're going to tell us truth. You're going to rally up the conspiracy theorists and at least give us what we want to hear, but you're still not going to give us the full truth. And he's probably gatekeeping a lot more information.
No, but I agree with that.
Yeah,
there's gonna be like that's why I said I can't trust him 100%.
That's exactly.
But like, that's why I always say you got to research everything these guys say. You got to research everything these guys say, because if you don't, you could be being set up for a trap, which is now you're buying into the agenda and supporting the agenda. So you got to be careful. Like Russell Brand's like that. In the way he words things sometimes, he talks about one world, one community, one. So what are you talking about, really, Russell? Because you were part of Hollywood. It's blood in, blood out, bruv. So I don't think you're out. But you're
can't leave.
now he's a born again Christian as well. Okay.
Because he's got sex. What's it called? He's on trial or something.
Yeah,
There's allegations against him,
There's some allegation. But I think that was a bullshit thing as well, because a lot of people were starting saying, "Oh, can you really trust Russell?" Yeah, people like me were saying that as well. I was leaving messages, I was leaving comments in his videos like, notice the chain, triangle, got this going on it. It's got 33 tattooed on his wrist. Yeah, I was like, and then he started defending. And funny enough, he did a video because I think enough people were posting things like that, and he was like, "Oh, it's just a significant date, a year in my life." And this, I was like, "Yeah, bullshit. Shut up, Russell." Yeah, I'm not buying it. Yeah, but then the best way to legit, it's like Andrew Tate, right? Make him look like a criminal. He's a bad guy. Yeah, look, the system's after him because he's speaking the truth. And Russell Brand does give you, because I research history as well, and he is giving you correct information. But then they want to make him legit. How do you make him legit? You attack him, don't they? Matrix is trying to attack him. It's a Matrix attack.
So you believe him even?
But if you truly being
double
attacked,
bluff.
if you be truly being attacked, you would be chased out of the country like Edward Snowden, to the point where he's had to now sign a contract in blood with the Russians so he can stay protected. Or
They take you out.
Julian Assange, you're trapped in an embassy for 7 years and they finally get you out, and then they take you to America, and then they say, "Shut up. If you say another word, we're going to have you." All right, can I just go back to my family? Yeah.
What about Norton? What was it?
Or what about, what's his name? The guy, what's his name? McPhee.
No, was it not
That's
Norton?
McPhee.
McPhee, yeah.
Took him out when he started talking about things.
Out. He was the one who did
He's the one, the McPhee security, like
antivirus
Norton and
software.
stuff like that. Yeah, he's the one who created that. And he's one, but then he started revealing
talking about
all the ins and outs, like how they're spying on
how they're
us, how
doing
they're
it.
collecting our information, how Samsung TV, all your
Took him out,
smart
bruv.
TVs are watching you and recording everything you're doing in front of it.
Everything.
Yeah, all of that stuff.
Took him out.
And
bruv.
he stayed, took him out. He was revealing way too much shit.
That's a real Matrix attack.
I think he got arrested and then they took him out. Same like Jeffrey Epstein died. Yeah, in the.
Well, this is what I mean.
That
This
French guy as well. Sorry, there was that French guy apparently who worked with Jeffrey Epstein who unalived himself in jail. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Which one? Which French guy?
Oh, I forget his name, but he was basically an offender as well, same as Jeffrey Epstein. But he killed himself in his cell like 2 or 3 years before Jeffrey Epstein. But he's got ties to him. Let me find out his name.
there's too much going on in it. Like, obviously, this is an Iran episode, but we've gone from.
I sent those. I sent those posts to you. I sent those posts to you about the
Venezuela.
Parliament voting against opening up the R files. Can't say it because obviously it's YouTube, yeah. But R files meaning R8.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the R word. Yeah, I can't use the. You all know what I mean by the R word. Yeah.
Yeah.
They voted against really opening up investigations. America, the Congress have voted against opening up investigation of sexual misconduct within the White House, of sexual harassment, all the files that have been filed. So basically, in America, people who worked in the White House have faced sexual harassment or sexual abuse of some sort, and they've been silenced or it's been paid off or were swept under the rug. Now they were saying, well, we need to release those files as well. What's going on? Why? And they voted against that. So it's just loads of stuff going on. I can't even keep up with everything, man. The minute I start getting into something else kicks off over it.
Exactly. It doesn't end.
So this was 19th of February 2022. So his name is Jean-Luc Brunel.
Okay.
Yeah, Epstein associate found dead in Paris prison cell. So a French modeling agent and close associate of the late financier and offender Jeffrey Epstein has been found dead in his prison cell in Paris. Was found hung in his cell in Lausanne prison at 1 a.m. on Saturday. 76-year-old had been held for over a year. He was investigated on suspicion of minors and trafficking of minors for exploitation.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Basically, if you have the power to snitch, they will get rid of you. If you've got information that will result in...
All right, so let's play this video of Mockingbird, yeah?
Mockingbird or Mockingjay?
Mockingbird. And just for some context, this was actually, I think, released during 2020 and 2022 during that event.
The information of it.
Yeah,
What,
this,
the
this,
19?
this video.
What
Yeah,
event?
yeah.
The
During
19,
that
okay.
event. When I say the event, that's what I'm on about.
Yeah.
Since the invention of the printing press, there's been a battle to control disseminated information. In the early 1900s, oil tycoon John D. Rockefeller took control of every newspaper and news editor of his era. He became America's first billionaire, paving the way for the power-hungry ever since. Thus began the gold rush for the modern world's most precious resource, the narrative.
Do you have any people being paid by the CIA who are contributing to a major circulation American journal?
During a Senate committee investigation, it was revealed that the CIA had been conducting a covert operation to infiltrate and control U.S. media. They called it Operation Mockingbird.
We do have people who submit pieces to American journals. Do you have any people paid by the CIA who are working for television networks? This, I think, gets into the kind of details, Mr. Chairman, that I'd like to get into in executive session.
Over 3,000 CIA contracted and trained operatives were placed in key positions within top media outlets. Posing as editors and journalists, these well-paid actors never dared to question the effect of their lives on the world beyond their cozy studio.
How often does the CIA manipulate the media in this way?
It goes beyond your wildest imagination. Setting up student organizations so they could draw radical students in. 5,000 university professors co-opted to help the CIA manipulate people's minds. Journalists in the U.S., including big-name journalists, co-opted to function routinely to help the CIA put out stories and biases to the world.
As this 1952 CIA memo says, the aim is controlling an individual to the point where he will do our bidding against his will.
It's a great brainwashing process to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interest of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country.
Would you say that continues today?
Well, I would think probably for a reporter it would continue today, but because of all of the revelations, I think you've got to be much more careful about it.
So how do we know that Operation Mockingbird still isn't in effect? Well, we don't.
It was the Telecommunications Act of 1996 that opened the door for predatory corporations to monopolize the industries of print and broadcast.
This bill protects consumers against monopolies. It guarantees the diversity of voices.
Today, a handful of corporate empires own and control the vast majority of everything you read, hear, and watch. From the biggest movie studios, television and radio networks, newspapers and magazines, to the vast universe of internet news and entertainment sites.
Amazon has transformed its operations in response to COVID-19 to protect employees and keep packages flowing.
The company is keeping its employees safe and healthy while still delivering those packages to your doorstep. The company is keeping its employees safe. The company is keeping its employees safe. Millions of Americans staying at home are relying on Amazon.
And that is how it works. It's like a house of mirrors, where you're seeing the same thing over and over and over.
I mean, look, let's stop there for a second. We've seen that clip how many times on the internet? And people have probably seen it as well. Yeah, I've got a couple of copies of that clip where they're all reading the same script.
No, but I've
word.
not heard them say about keeping employees safe for Amazon. I've seen one where it was like, democracy, it's a threat to democracy. And they all repeat the same thing. Yeah. So I saw that already, but I didn't know that they did a campaign for Amazon. I've not seen the Amazon employee safe fucking script. That's mad,
isn't it?
Over again. Except it's distorted.
There's an industry that is paid to go after and target journalists, whistleblowers, and inundate our consciousness and the images we see to try to ruin, destroy, or smear the idea that they don't like or the person who's delivering it.
You smear somebody with falsehoods and all the rest, and then you merchandise it. And then you write it unless they see us reported in the press, so they have that validation that the press reported the smear, and then it's called the wrap-up smear. Now I'm going to merchandise the press's report on the smear that we made. And it's a tactic.
News personalities are not the only high-paid actors to serve the propaganda machine. Most late-night talk shows are owned by the same corporate overlords and thus follow the same script, only laced with a laugh.
Our main story tonight concerns conspiracy theories.
Last Week Tonight with John Oliver featured a skit entitled Coronavirus Conspiracy Theories.
Like the claim that the moon landing was faked.
First thing to note here is that Mr. Oliver opens with commentary about conspiracy theories that are completely unrelated to coronavirus. This is a standard tactic used by propagandists to set a tone so that anything that follows will be seen through the lens of absurdity.
Plandemic, a pseudo-documentary filled with a hodgepodge of conspiracy theories.
Mr. Oliver then does his best to debunk Dr. Judy's claim that she was arrested but never charged with a crime.
She was absolutely criminally charged.
This was not an oversight, but a blatant lie. Prior to the taping of this episode, Mr. Oliver had the official arrest documents that clearly prove that Dr. Judy was never charged with a crime. Mr. Oliver then attempts to debunk the idea that a beach, aka nature, holds any value in boosting our body's natural immune system. Instead of challenging a point with science, he kills it with a smear.
Everything that you just said is...
All right, I don't know if we should play the rest.
Because this is really hot topic for me. Like, I really get annoyed thinking about this shit because that whole
just
time
be
was
prepared. This might get taken down.
okay.
But we're gonna take that risk. Yeah. Remember,
What do you reckon? 'Cause
it's
this whole
been.
topic
Don't get me wrong. It's probably been.
They've changed the rules, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit on this. The C.
You're allowed to talk about the 19 a little bit.
Yeah,
more.
you are now. Remember, I sent you that stuff. So let's just test the water with it a little bit. But what we can't do is basically just don't go too far with what you're saying. Yeah.
So don't call it.
Yeah, like just be careful. Yeah. Don't. You just literally said that, dude. So don't say that.
Yeah, I won't.
We can't say that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Insane.
Television is not the truth. We deal in illusions, man. None of it is true. But you people sit there day after day, night after night, all ages, colors, creeds.
Oh, shit.
What do you know? You're beginning to believe the illusions we're spinning here. You're beginning to think that the tube is reality and that your own lives are unreal. This is mass madness, you maniacs. In God's name, you people are the real thing. We are the illusion. So turn off your television sets. Turn them off now. Turn them off right now. Turn them off and leave them off. Turn them off right in the middle of the sentence I'm speaking to you now. Turn them off.
All right, so you've got to be careful a little bit. And I was just saying, you've got to be careful what we say. It's not that we can't talk about it, or because they are coming out now saying they were wrong about certain things.
All right, let me bring it back then to the main topic.
The main topic was that obviously the controlling narratives, who controls the narratives of anything, like even in the war in Iran.
What
right
happened
now,
in Iran during the 19? What happened?
I have no idea.
Did they also lock down and
I'm guessing so.
And do a rollout of
no idea. No idea.
Because if they did, then that just proves that what we're seeing right now is a little bit of a it's all a show. Because ultimately, if they also were following the exact same global global instruction, every country did it. Every country followed the same rules set by that global organizations. Now all of a sudden the countries are in conflict again, but there is that overarching global power that controls all of them.
I don't know. I don't know whether did the smaller territories and countries close down because they just thought, well, hold on, the rest of the world's dealing with this, and we just got to, it's real, and we're ignorant, and you got to follow this. Was it like, you remember, like there's levels to controls of these nations as well, Treble. Like, I suppose it's another topic to get into. Like, but the most powerful countries and the biggest countries and the biggest economies in the world, obviously, you're gonna control those from a point of supremacy, right? And then there's the little countries have to fall in line and actually just do what they're told to do. So I don't know whether
Iran's not a little country though. You wouldn't.
But I don't know whether Iran. I don't know. Maybe you could find it.
They did. They followed the rules. over almost 50% were fully V'd by 2021 November. So within
I mean, for
within 6 months, 7 months, they had 50% of the country.
But then
Crazy.
But then at the same time, like I don't know, during the Shah, did they have a Rothschild bank in place while the Shah was there? Don't know. And then Ayatollah came in, he took it out of place, like what Abraham Lincoln like did twice, I think. So because I know he did the first Bank of America, which was a Rothschild run bank. So I don't know, like depends where you could be right with it all, that they're part of the act.
Well, I read this actually on Reddit on the conspiracy forum. They were saying that Iran is in it with Israel and America together to bring the end of times because they all believe in the same sort of concept of how it's meant to go down. So Israel believes that something about what's it?
Do you know what? In all honesty, whether they are or whether or not is irrelevant. The fact that is, in my opinion, it's happening no matter what.
Yeah.
So whether Iran's controlled opposition as well or Iran isn't, the fact is it's coming to play. So either way, we're screwed. Treble.
So what's the solution then? Are we actually just screwed? Is there? I don't know, man.
You tell me, man.
I do like to believe still that at the end of the day, good will prevail. I feel like the laws of duality kick in where we have good and bad, or love and evil on two ends of the spectrum, and it's almost like on a balancing scale, on a balanced scale, and it keeps on tipping more and more and more and more towards evil, and that's what all this stuff is coming out now, and we're going deeper and deeper, and it's seeming worse and worse, but it will have to self-correct, and when it does, it will be a big shift.
But it'll self-correct in whose favor?
Back towards good. Because if it's going in the direction of evil, it's going to get worse. And that's what we're seeing now. But it will self-correct back to balance. It will always hit balance. And then it'll go back to good times.
But hold on, now we're going deep. So who's going to bring it back to balance?
I'm not...
Because in order to do that, then the people have to wake up and come together, don't they?
It could. I mean, it could also happen through like a natural disaster, just taking out certain places. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying it will self-correct, and the way it self-corrects will still be going through more bad. Like it could go to a total economic.
So basically,
collapse.
you're this is so I'll use an analogy. This is like Star Wars, right? Yeah. So
remind us what happened.
So Anakin Skywalker turns to the dark side, helps Palpatine become the Emperor of the known universe. They rule as an empire or whatever for however long. Along comes Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker brings it back to balance. But really, when you think about it, it's not Luke who brings it back to balance. It's Darth Vader who brings it back to balance, who was Anakin Skywalker, because he takes out Palpatine, the Emperor, as he's trying to take out his son, Luke Skywalker. So actually, the prophecy of him bringing balance to the Force was right, because he does it in the end. But first, he had to put it into a state of uneven balance, I suppose, or uneven, where it's shifting more to the dark side, and then he corrected it.
Spoiler alert! Come on, man. I'm joking. Yeah, no.
Couldn't care less. I'm 43. If you haven't watched it by now, shut up. I don't care about spoiling if you haven't watched it.
No.
If it's the young 28-year-old who's bought all the videos and wanted to watch them, I just told you it all in 2 seconds.
It's true though. I think. I mean, like, we know that the television, like what you just said, they turn it off, because at the end of the day, they are trying to tell us. I'm
not saying like you've got the answer to this question.
No, but
what I'm saying, I'm going to press you now, like you press me, yeah, on these points, yeah. But how do you envision that happening? Because if you think about it, you're talking about like a apocalypto type evil. Now we're going to go into is what you're predicting right here now, yeah. What we're talking about, we're going to get deep. Like people are going to be starving, perhaps even here in the UK, which is happening anyway. Let's be real, yeah, right. We talk about third world country, right? But like people can't even feed themselves or put the heat on, for crying out loud, and they're choosing like, do I eat or do my kids eat? Well, of course my kids eat, right? And they go 2 or 3 days without eating. We're already in that position, right? Okay. So we're talking about real like shit. We're talking about it's going to be real shit.
It's going to get worse.
How does that flip around to what you're saying, where it balances itself out? Like, how do you think that takes place? Have you thought about? I don't know if you've had a thought process around that. Or how do you envision that happening?
Shit, I honestly don't know.
Because it just seems a little bit.
It's easy to say though, isn't it? Like,
yeah, but at the same time, it just seems like it's easy to say, but like, how does that happen? Like, it's easy to say, yeah, the universe would do it, but like at the same time, I get where you're coming from, but at the same time, and I get what you're trying to say, like the universe always has to end up balancing itself.
Yeah,
but something within the universe has to be the one triggering the rebalancing. You get what I mean? So is it the people? Is it what? Like I don't know. You won't know the answer to that, of course. I'm not putting it like that. Like you know the answer to.
So
this.
okay,
It's just food for thought from my point of view. Like who does that? How does that happen?
Let's take it back to some old, philosophical kind of school of thoughts. There was Thomas Malthus and Esther Boserup.
Who are?
These
I haven't
two, what's the word? Biologists, maybe, for like they had these two ideas on how society works. So Thomas Malthus, he says technology resources are going to get used up, and it'll get to a point where there's not going to be enough resources, and then there'll be a natural check where we'd have to depopulate, bring it back down, and then resources can be used up again. So for example, let's say in farming, he believed once you can grow so much wheat, then there's not going to be enough wheat for the people, so the people need to die off, and then brings it back down, natural check, and then grow more wheat, feed the people again. And that made sense at the time. And if you look into Thomas Malthus, he was probably part of that secret society in terms of.
I was about to say, you sure he's not part of the club?
He's part of the club, and his belief was we need natural checks, kind of like depopulate, then bring it back up again, depopulate. Esther Boserup, on the other hand, she believed technology, just at the very pinnacle, just at the very tip of the point, when desperation kicks in, technology will come in, or some sort of advancement will come in and re-put a new benchmark on that limit to resources. And everyone was kind of like, let's see. But that's actually what happened. So obviously with the wheat stuff, food was running out, not enough food for people. In comes the combine harvester, where we can now farm on mass scale. So food comes back up again, and the new benchmark or the new level of resources comes in, and population can still kind of continue. So I do see that.
So she sounds like she's referring to Industrial Revolution.
Industrial Revolution. And so there will always be a revolution of some sort.
Well, we're going through it right now, innit? Which some people say it's the fourth, and some people say it's the fifth already, which is the AI and robotics evolution.
So when you're talking about, okay, what kind of people aren't going to have enough food, and people aren't going to have enough money to do this and do that, there'll be a point where there'll be some sort of revolution, whether it be AI or the next advancement on that, where things will get taken care of. Whether though that is going to be trapped in some sort of digital prison.
But at the same thing, when that happens, when there is an industrial revolution, they won't tell you this, but masses get lost. Like masses of people will be unalived. I'm trying to get the right words out of. Think of YouTube it, but
well, yeah, and that's what I mean. So obviously, population will take a hit, and there will be losses
because there's like when you think about it, right? Okay, so all right, so I'll go back to Klaus Schwab's book, The Fourth Industrial Revolution. I haven't read it all. I've read like a few pages of it, yeah. And I remember the first one statistic that stuck out to me hard, where he was talking about the introduction of AI and robotics and stuff like that. That he used the US as an example, that once AI is fully implemented and now integrated within society and implemented, that 49% of US citizens will lose their job. Now, what the reason I bring that up is because when something like that tends to happen, people lose their job, they're not got money, they can't get food, and then what happens? People are no longer around. You start losing those people without trying to use hot keywords here to. Do you know what I mean? But that means you reduce the population that way as well. So And the only jobs that humans will really keep are probably either that of one of like an observer. So like you may have a dark factory and you might be the one guy that works every night to make sure that there's no issues. You're the engineer in there. If something does happen, you're there to fix it. But otherwise, it just keeps ticking over on its
all
own.
automated, yeah.
It's all automated, right? But jobs that need empathy, so like a doctor, whereas an AI computer will turn and say, well, this person's actually just got shot or whatever, and you're like, well, they've only got 10% chance of surviving and living through this. Right, forget it. Don't waste your time.
Yeah.
Percentages is too low. Whereas a doctor's gonna like, I don't care about no 10%.
Trying it.
You've got to try, right? or for like things like psychologists and stuff like that. Those sort of jobs will be protected. The things, if you're data analysis,
I don't even think psychologists will be protected. Why
yeah,
would
even
they?
a retailer filling the shelves, like your job's not safe.
Well,
they've got those. I don't know if you've seen like I think it's in China. They've got those machines, those little flat machines that drive around and they park your car for you. They don't even need a valet anymore. Like,
I mean, the waiters and waitresses and all of that, basically customer service roles, if it's not replaced by robotics or AI, it will be replaced by people willing to do the job for much cheaper than the average person is. So if
Exactly.
it's true though, but if they're gonna get rid of people, they're going to get rid of people within Western societies because they're the ones who have these what they call like labor like groups. You know, what they call unions. Union. They're the ones that protest. They're the ones that want higher wages. We're not getting paid enough. Yeah, but you take someone who's making £2 an hour at home at best.
But that's why
them here.
That's another thing though. You think about with the Iran war, right? What came out of the Iraq war, the Syrian war, and the Libyan war, like mass migration, right? So now think about it. The Iran war will also draw in more mass migration into Europe, across the channel, here into the UK. So all of Europe will be fucked big time. But not only that, you're right with what you're saying, because these guys don't work for the kind of money we work for and not used to the kind of rights that we have here in the UK. But if you get rid of us, yeah, you think about it. If you get rid of us, the westernized born person saying, I've got rights, I've got human rights, and you give it to that bod that's now into your country, you're like, he'll do it for wherever I tell him to do it for.
Yeah, that's how they suppress the wage.
I saw a meme and it was saying the world is actually like a resort for about 500 elite people. It's basically a resort for the elites, and everyone else are just workers at their resort.
Sounds about right.
But then, and like you say, though, there will come a point where actually we don't need this many workers, automation and technology. So yeah, you have to either depopulate them or just kind of keep them in there.
Come on, man. Bill Gates has talked about depopulation, hasn't he?
It's not
no secret. Yeah, it's all out there for everyone to see. I don't know even why people try to censor it. It just drives me up the wall. Like, I don't even understand why you try to censor that conversation. Everyone's seen it now. How many people haven't seen it? But like I said, like the agenda is the agenda. Yeah, we can get to that normified conversation about what's going on in Iran, but at the end of the day, I honestly believe that like what I've been saying is I could be wrong. Maybe it doesn't play out that way, but I feel like everything that's happening and what you've just chucked on top of it with the whole Trump, your little Trump conspiracy as well around his age and stuff like that.
Prophecy, yeah.
Yeah, that just makes me even feel more like shit. Damn, we're gonna get screwed hard here.
I saw another guy that I've not looked into it too much in it. Some guy was telling me, this is about a couple of years ago now. He said something about Messiah 2030. Like in the biblical prophecy, they said that the second coming is going to be 2030. Like the Messiah is coming back in 2030. And obviously with that, though, there will still be the false prophet first. Then is he 4 more years? What do you mean on his way out? You don't think he'll be alive in 4 years' time?
I don't think so.
He will. You think he's done?
Yeah.
Struggling. Bye. So
he's not got the same.
He's
not got the same energy he did in that first term.
No, I'm not saying he's going to have the same energy. But to say that he's going to be done in dead in 4 years.
But also at the same time, I saw a clip of him recently, and like you could remember, like some people are very good at hiding stress and pressure. And he's definitely, I think, one of those people. Yeah, he's very good at that. But I saw a clip recently where signs of that showed through. So that confidence, you know how he walks with his chest bang out and everything like that. I don't see that in this show. He had that look in his eyes, like, "Oh shit, I've opened up a can of worms here with this Iran thing." And literally, do you know what I mean? Like he knew, like, I'm lying. I might be lying. I'm lying to people here right now, but this is going to go on for a while.
So I don't believe the third term thing because I don't think he'll make it that far.
If you wanted it third term, that'd be a great way to do it. You just get Congress to give you emergency powers, don't you? War powers.
Yeah,
If that makes sense. If you think about what Professor Zhang said, that does make sense. That'd be a way for him to get a third term. But I don't know whether I think he may enter a third term. I don't know whether he'll finish a third term. That's the question. But I still believe he'll be. And I even said it to you. I remember saying this to you as well. That what you have already said, Treble, which is, I think he'll be the last president.
If you look again and just into the numerology of it, he was the 45th and the 47th president. If you do the numerology where you have to add the numbers, 4 plus 5 is 9. 4 plus 7 is
11.
And
I just looked at Waz is like
so, but like I'm gonna go deep with it. So 46th president is 10.
Yeah.
Who was Biden?
Yeah.
So 10, you could argue, is the complete number, right? On a 10 is like on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 is always the most.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what they've done is they've gone from 9. So the whole thing with like 9/11, obviously you can look into it as well, but they skip 10. So it goes from 9 to 11. So God is 10. God represents perfectness, completion, 10. They're saying, they're kind of like sticking a middle finger up at everybody and being like, we were on 9, we jump over God and we go to enlightenment, we go to ascension, we go to 11. And that's the kind of like the
So what does Biden represent then?
Biden is supposed to represent perfectness to them.
But so they mock.
It's a sick joke.
So
They're
basically,
mocking us.
it's basically what the devil does, which is mock God.
They mock God. They said 9, and then
Because they call
represent
because it's the same. Let me give you an example of what I mean by mocking God. Right. So for example, if you look, and there's many examples in religion, in any religion, but I'll use Christianity for example. So the reason they say 3 a.m. is the witching hour, or when you watch these movies and it's always the demonic action always it starts kicking off at that time in the morning or something, or when it starts beginning, right? Yeah. For that person who's dealing with it. It's because they believe that that's the time Jesus Christ was crucified. So for them when they do it 3 a.m. in the morning, it's the opposite of 3 p.m., which is they're mocking Jesus and God at the same time.
That's what they do. So Biden represented the perfect number, right? He was the 46th president. It just so happened to also.
So it's mocking, innit? Yeah.
And then in comes number 47, the 11th, and it's Trump again. So he was the 9/11 president.
Oh shit!
It's crazy stuff, man.
No, but I just hit what you just said to me. 9/11.
Yeah.
And that links to the
always.
I mean, that's quite deep.
That was quite deep. That last bit you said there, I was like, oh shit, I just didn't pick up on that just until now.
It's all linked, isn't it? All linked.
And yeah, numerology in this cult is all there's all
symbolism, numerology.
No, it's big.
Astrology, all of it, bro.
Like you get this better than me. I don't really get into this all this numerology.
But there's the thing, I get so lost in all of that stuff that I do forget to look into the ground level stuff that's going on, which is bombs being dropped, people dying, and it's like I can't keep up at the moment, man. There's too much going on.
All right, look, I think we've talked about this enough now. Yeah. Final thoughts, Baz. You got the mic, so let's go with you.
Well, the midterms are around the corner, so it'll be very interesting to see what happens if they do use Iran as the tool to skip those midterms.
When are the midterms?
I think they're in someone said they were in 20 weeks, but it's half a year.
Yeah.
So wait, let's find out though.
Midterms, yeah. What exactly are midterms? It's when they shake up the Congress and stuff like that, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Something to do that. Is that what it is? I think
Well,
something
it's
to do
like
that,
They vote again, and then basically unhappy with the government.
And
changed.
But the president stays the same.
President will stay the same, but if the other party gets a
Majority vote,
they can make it difficult for the
then
president.
they can make it difficult for the president.
So they can't even try and put policies in. But historically, this is a flawed system in the first place. The people that got voted into the administration historically they always lose the midterms, but to varying degrees of defeat.
That's why nothing can ever get done. That's why no change.
Yeah, but
I mean,
by
it's the same in the
design,
UK.
isn't it?
Yeah, by design.
So midterm election happen every 4
Illusion.
years in the middle. So the next one is November the 3rd. So actually that's 6 months away. Near enough 6 months away. November the 3rd, 2026. Be the midterm election. So they vote for the United States House of Representatives, all 435 members.
So if he gets Congress to give him emergency power before that, he could pretty much say no election, no voting, no election for this midterm.
Yeah, well they're also saying
we're in a state of war, and I have emergency war powers now.
yeah, so that would be interesting to see. And but they also there's theories that Venezuela was also to
And if he was to die as president, let's say he was to die a year out or 2 year out before the end of his term, right? Let's just say, yeah, JD Vance obviously gets sworn in, right? So those emergency powers get transferred over to him,
yeah,
and he can continue. So
he'll
we could
probably
essentially see Trump as the last elected, voted in president.
That's what the prophecy says, and I don't know.
By Palantir.
Sorry, go on, Waz. We're getting carried away again.
So that would be interesting to see. They also said that in Venezuela they attacked it because Venezuela got these voting machines that they've been able to manipulate, which is how Maduro was able to stay in for so long.
Yeah.
And now they've got that tech that they're going to try and use that in the midterms as well, so that even if more Democrats voted, they would basically say that Republicans have won. Whether that's a conspiracy theory or not remains to be seen. I don't know how long the Iran thing will go on for. Obviously, oil was $120 a barrel last time I checked. I think it went up even higher. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on America to sort this out.
They've closed what's it called? The Horn of Hormuz, is it?
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know the name.
Which is the channel where all goods and stuff and products come in and out of Iran. But they've closed that off now. So like literally they were servicing mainly Asia through that Horn, that channel, which is now going to put pressure on the rest of even us, because 20% of our oil comes from Iran, regardless of what you want to say from the West, meaning the West. Yeah, man. But you could see some shortages. You're going to see some real shortages and price hikes.
They dropped sanctions on Russia though for anyone who wants to buy Russian oil. The sanctions have been lifted from the US temporarily. Whether they'll get put back on is another story, but. Yeah, it's very interesting times. I can't predict it. Every day there's a new story. I need to do some research into the reaction to Benjamin's brother getting killed, because that's a madness.
Treble, where you at?
So, all right, at its core, because obviously we're talking about Iran. I'm just gonna go off the back of what my friend Iranian girl. She said it's a good thing that the Ayatollah's gone because he was a brutal dictator who tortured and killed a lot of people. So I'm not gonna stand here and say no, it was wrong that they took him out.
Even though I'm gonna say this, even though I argued, me and Waz had a good little heated debate and argument about it all. At the same time, I can't be, I suppose, insensitive to people who whether they believe it, whether it's the truth, I don't know. But they believe it and they feel it, and if they're saying something about it, then I can't, because if it is true, then potentially people have lost loved ones and stuff like that. So at the same, do you get what I'm trying to say? I'm not trying to be of like the 40,000 people Iranians who were taken out and stuff like that. So whereas I was saying that this might be bullshit, yeah. Do you know what I mean? As well.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying about like the 6 million.
But at the same time,
that's why
I've not like argued any hard with it, because at the end of the day, like if it is BS. Then, and there's a high possibility that is because, come on, like during the event that took place in 2020 and 2022, we saw a lot of that where there was
forgery of the numbers and stuff.
But we saw visually in certain countries there were like body bags and stuff like that.
Yeah, China when they were just dropping.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like,
what was that about?
Exactly. So we know that it can be manipulated and things can be lied and talked. But at the same time, I don't want to be insensitive to anyone like someone who's telling you.
Yeah. So look, like we said, we always have to do your research and look at the evidence and facts. And I think part of evidence and facts is real stories from real people that you trust.
Yeah.
And have connections to the ground. And so from that perspective, just to kind of break it down, them taking out the Ayatollah, I've come in it from an ignorant angle, but them taking out the Ayatollah maybe wasn't such a bad thing. Now the aftermath, on the other hand, that's where trouble's going to start kicking off. But like we've explained, the whole Rothschild's banking and the Zionists and Israel and Jews and this and that. I think it's all interlinked, and this is actually just part of some biblical prophecy, and it's all going to kick off. And I don't know what it means for the average person. All I know is right now is I got bills to pay, I got taxes to pay, and I'm just so swamped. And I think that's by design as well.
My take on this is exactly what I said to you guys when I first started giving my opinion on it, which is obviously it's all part of the plan, it's all part of the agenda,
Always is.
it's all part of the prophecy, as you keep putting it, Treble, which is probably the best way to put it. Do I believe 40,000 people got, if you want to go down to a normie level, were wiped out by Iranians? Possibly. Yeah. Can I say hand on heart? Yes, 100%. It's a lie. Or there's some untruths to it. I can't. And at the same time, there's someone out there who's saying that it's the truth. And remember, sometimes when people are at the same time as well, I know for a fact, right? If I work with people who I know lie about whether their mother passed away or their father passed away or their uncle passed away, their grandma, to get some time, 2 weeks off, paid off work, yeah. Also, that just tells me the mindset of society. And I've seen, and when you do my job, I won't tell you my job, but when you do my job, because me and Treble used to work together, there's a lot of people who go pretty low to get a bit of time off work, and that's just for a bit of time off of work. So
that's disgusting.
Yeah,
behavior,
but at the same time, how far would someone go to kind of get people on their side of their ideology? So although I don't want to be disrespecting your friend, but at the same time, she could be just telling you that because she wants Treble on her side. Do you get what I mean? There's an element of that as well, and I'm not saying that is the case. I
never even gave her my opinion. I literally just asked how is everything back home, and
you don't have to give your opinion. You don't have to give your opinion. She just wants you on her side.
But what side?
The side of her side is the right side, and the other side is wrong. We don't know that.
But she doesn't even know what side I would have been.
No.
Convinced. Do you know what I mean?
It doesn't matter.
Why does it not matter? So if you said,
no. Well, you're getting lost. This is where you always do this, Treble, right? You're not understanding it, right? If I want the whole world to believe me, whether they're even paying attention to what's going on, I'm just going to tell them something and they go, oh, you poor thing. Oh, yeah. And then they go and tell, well, I've got a friend and my friend told me this is what's going on. And ignorantly, you're not even into it. You're not even deep into it, but you're passing on her message, which could be, for all you know, propaganda and manipulation. So she's using you as a tool, as someone who's ignorant to the situation, but she knows she's my friend though. Why would she lie to me? Well, actually, your friend could be lying to you and manipulating you to push her ideology and her agenda of we need to get rid of that regime.
All right, let me ask this question just to the three of us right now. Then
she doesn't need to know. You don't.
That's fine. That's fine.
No, you don't need to have an opinion on it. She just needs to make sure she's setting the seed in your head. So when the conversation comes up in another room,
yeah,
you can say, "Well, my friend who's from Iran."
So what's your understanding? Do you support this Islamic extreme?
No, I don't know what's going on.
No, but let's.
I don't know what's true. I don't know what's true. I don't know what's true.
Either a Islamic extreme regime that has brutally tortured people.
Treble.
Yes or no?
Treble.
Or a Western freedom.
Treble. Stop. You're missing again. You miss the point every single time. Waz was sitting there just. Waz is such a joker.
Is that what's happening though?
Waz was just sitting there nodding his head like, yeah, there's an element to that as well. So stop it, you donut.
Yeah. Cypher, I don't know why you want to play devil's advocate on
that.
It can sometimes be black and white.
But hold on, the thing is, why don't you try to actually understand what I'm saying to you? That shows your brain is limited to how manipulation works. Yeah, someone could cry in front of you. I just gave you an example at work. How people have told me that their mum and their dad have died just to get 2 weeks off work so they can go on holiday, right? So if you're willing to go that low as a society, how far are you willing to go to get people on your side with your ideology? Okay, so let's talk about a certain event that happened in 2020, 2022, right? Certain people, you're telling me certain people weren't trying to lie to us to tell us to believe in the agenda. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you talking about people that I trust?
Your family members.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't say like they weren't. My sister was one of them. She was trying to tell me that, oh no, you need to go and do it. You need to go and do it. And I was like, hell no. Yeah. That's my loved one telling me that. And she's done no research. So to say that friend of yours isn't potentially manipulating you to believe an ideology, she might be right. She might be telling the truth. This is what I'm telling you. But you don't know that. Yeah. So for all you know, she's trying to push her ideology, which is potentially the wrong one, but she wants you to push it to be the right one. When you're sitting in a room and the conversation comes up, you will start defending and speaking for that ideology also. She's already manipulated you and set the seed. However, she could be right as well. We don't know that, but that's the bit I'm trying to get you to understand.
Absolutely. And look, I'll say here right now.
I don't know.
I don't know.
This is why I say you can't trust anyone with any information. I don't want to be insensitive to her as well, because she could be telling the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. But on the flip side, she could be manipulating you or even me. Right now, you're telling me that. So I'm sitting and now I'm buying into it. So yeah, I'm going around telling everyone. But then 5 years from now, we could find out that what she said to you was actually the untruth.
But is there?
But is it? I don't know. We don't know.
Is there an extreme Islamic regime?
I don't know.
In Iran.
He'll say yes. I'll say I don't know. He'll say yes, and I'll say I don't know.
It's in the name. You know, Islamic Republic
Is that
of
actually
Iran.
what Iran stands for?
Yeah, that's what the name of the regime is.
Is it?
Right? Islamic Republic of Iran.
I don't know. Look it up, man. I don't know.
So,
That I don't know.
So what? Iraq and Iran Islamic Republic? Is that what?
Iraq isn't that
Well, what's the IRA kind of
the name of the country?
Islamic
But I'm
Republic
talking
of Iran?
about like who the Ayatollah and the actual name of.
All right, Cypher, let me ask you a question. And again, look, I'll say here right now, I don't know. I don't know the truth, and I agree with that.
But this is what I'm saying to you. I'm not going to fully buy into it. If someone says that to me, it's like, oh, okay, sorry for that. But I'm not going to walk away saying, yeah, she told me that's the truth. I'm going to walk away just saying, all I know, she might be manipulating me as well. So I can't trust that she's telling me the truth 100%. And that's not me trying to be insensitive. That's just me protecting myself so I don't get bought into an ideology that potentially could be untrue.
So yeah, it's called the Islamic Republic of Iran is the current political system and official name of Iran.
It's Republic, right?
Yeah, since 1979. So it's a hybrid political system, mixes theocracy, so rule influenced by Islamic religious leaders and Republican elements, so elections for some political offices.
Is there democratic freedom? Ask if is there democratic
No, they don't, because they don't vote.
So it's a dictatorship?
Essentially.
Ask, is it extreme?
Yeah. Of course it's going to say it's extreme.
Is there democratic freedom? Are they religious extremists? ChatGPT is taking a long time to think about this. It's going to be politically correct right now.
There's some elements are democratic, but it's not considered full democracy. So they can vote for the president, members of parliament, the assembly of experts, but not the supreme leader. So you can vote out the Ayatollah.
So it's basically you can't vote out the royal family.
Check the extreme.
So it's the same thing. It's the same thing here. You can't vote. The royal family is the royal family. You can't vote them out.
Are they religious extremists? So it depends on how the term is defined. So
check what he says for short. In short, in summary, Iran is not a liberal democracy, but is also not a total dictatorship. It has elections within a controlled religious framework. Whether it's extreme depends heavily on political viewpoint and definition. So it's being politically correct.
Yeah, basically. So it says here that it sees itself as a
Well,
religious
what did you expect?
government.
ChatGPT, man.
Yeah, it's ridiculous actually that you can't get a proper answer. This is why I don't really.
You have with ChatGPT. You know what you have to do? You have to push it.
Yeah.
You have to really push it. Like you're not going to get that here. I'm talking about you'll have to sit here for an hour or two, really pushing him and driving. I had to do that with fractional reserve banking
To manipulate them.
You have to really push it. Like, no, don't tell me that. And then it says, okay, yeah, you're right.
Because it's saying here, from Iran's perspective, it sees itself as religious government based on Shia Islamic law and the political theory of Velayat-e-Faqih, which is the rule of the Islamic jurist. They view the system as protecting Islamic values and independence from foreign influence. But for many Western governments and analysts, they describe parts of the government as hardline or extremist because laws are based heavily on religious doctrine. There are strict rules on things like dress codes and morality laws. And Iran supports militant groups abroad, which countries like the U.S. classify as terrorism. So,
all right, I've asked ChatGPT this, and I'm going to quote it word for word what I asked. I said, "Be completely truthful. It is from a place of understanding. Is Iran an Islamic extremist country? As in, can the regime be brutal?" Short answer.
We already discussed that, though.
Yes, the Iranian regime can be extremely brutal.
We've already said that at the beginning, though, Treble.
So that's my point. So,
okay,
you accept and admit that the regime is extremely brutal.
Okay, but I could say the West is extremely brutal as well. Iraq, 1 million people, 500,000 children. In 2003, gone.
I'm not saying
slaughtered. So what are you talking about? I don't understand your point, Treble. Treble, I know what you're doing. Your fear of, again, you're doing exactly what Waz did last time. Your fear and hatred for Islam. Now I've got to make a point that Islam is an evil religion. I get it, Treble. You got to understand something about Waza and Treble. They are Islamophobias. Yeah, and every time they get an opportunity to hate this religion and bring it down, they will take it. And this is that opportunity, which is what Treble's doing ignorantly again. Right? I made a point that you need to be careful that you don't know what someone's telling you. And Waz was sitting there nodding his head while I was saying it in agreement with me. So shut the fuck up, both of you. Yeah.
It's just interesting, isn't it? Like moral police is
Yeah.
part of Sharia law, no?
But I turned around and said, all I said was that you got to be careful what anyone says. Even if someone's on the West, on the West telling me, no, this is bad what they're doing to me, I wouldn't trust them either. Because if someone was saying to me, defending the regime, and saying that they did nothing wrong, at the same time, I'm going to question, I'm not going to trust them. I'm not just your friend. I was using your friend as an example. I'm not going to trust them because they might be trying to manipulate me as well.
So what is your take on the regime?
I don't give a shit about what the regime is.
Well,
Shall I give you the truth? Shall I give you the truth? Yeah. We're all fucked. Yeah. The prophecy's coming true. Yeah. We're all going to be enslaved. We're all going to be eating bugs. We're all going to be having a digital ID. We're going to have chips in our hands. We're going to have chips in our brains, and we're all going to be walking around like slaves. You won't be able to say what you want to say. You have to say what they want you to say. How about that, Treble? Reality.
And I agree, and I see that unfolding as well. Like, I think we all kind of do based on the research and evidence that we've amassed over the years. But ultimately, this was an episode on Iran.
I told you, I don't know. I said that at the beginning. I don't know.
No, but I just want to ask the lay of it. Whether them going in and doing what they've done is right, wrong, that's another thing. Whether there's nuclear weapons,
are they genuinely going in? All right. So,
but was the regime, in your opinion, something that needed to be dealt with?
Don't know. I don't live in Iran.
No, but what you've looked at, right?
Okay. But who controls the media? We just did an episode on it. We just talked.
But you've done research. You've looked at.
Yeah,
some
but I could also say then. But then you look at the regime before that. Was that any good? Which was a Shah, westernized, supported.
So that need also sorting out.
So, like, who's the right person for the job? Was it the guy before the Shah? Someone like that who was democratically elected by the people, who actually cares about the people, who wanted to make Iranians richer and controlling their resources and making them in a better situation, basically a better standard of living. Because the Shah clearly didn't get it right, and he was pushing the whole westernized democracy, right? The Ayatollah clearly hasn't got it right because he was pushing the whole Islamic culture. So what was the guy before that doing? We don't know everything about him, but it sounds like he was on the right track. Whether it is, I don't think the guy before was saying don't be a Muslim, but also he was saying like we're not going to be hardcore either.
Yeah, it sounds more.
So where's the balance? Yeah. We need someone who brings in the balance, right?
Yeah.
The Ayatollah was he any good? Don't know. Maybe at the beginning to get rid of the Shah, but then as you know, it's like Fidel Castro, right, and Che Guevara. When they took Cuba, what was their goal originally? It wasn't communism. It was to bring it into a socialist political dynamic, right?
Yeah.
Which was everyone's equal. None of us are going to get screwed over. Blah 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 blah. But then on the flip side, what happened then? Che Guevara leaves. Fidel Castro's left over. He takes charge. Eventually, what happens? It goes from Marxism to socialism to communism now, and people could barely, from what I've seen, even when they walk around, like the buildings are fucking falling apart for crying out loud. So how good are they out there? I don't know. Yeah. I don't think they are.
Well, their one talking point is that.
So someone who had the intent of bringing freedom to their people, can they easily get corrupted by power, innit? And maybe that was Ayatollah's first thing. Well, let me free my people. Yeah, didn't work. Or maybe it was the Shah. Shah would have had the same thing. Let me free my people, and it ends up being greedy power, and you start becoming a monster. You turn into a monster.
Do you agree with violence to maintain power?
No, absolutely not.
You don't.
I don't think you need violence to. You shouldn't have to resort to it. It depends what context. You're now talking in the grey area.
Okay.
What are you getting at?
Because
you can think about it. If 4,000 people guys rise up and start attacking people in the streets of here, like, do you not want the police to go in there and deal with it? And let's say they're armed with guns and weapons and they're not putting their weapons down. What are they going to do? They have to put them down, aren't they? So what do you mean by do you agree with violence? Like, you want a utopia world? There's no such thing as a utopia world.
But
I mean, I do kind of agree with it.
What, violence?
Yeah.
You might need it. I don't agree.
Violent crackdowns on protests, mass arrests, torture.
I don't agree. We should have it or
death
use
penalty.
it. However, but unfortunately, we live in a world we don't live in a perfect world. So there's going to be threats to our society. There's going to be threats to any society, and you will have to have measures in place that use violence to put something down.
I mean, do you think that Antifa and BLM should have had harsher responses towards them for burning down the cities and attacking people?
Harsher response in terms of consequence, yes, but I'm not saying that they should be tortured and executed.
What if they were on the streets attacking people and then they got battered? Then what? That's violence.
Yeah, but you can't solve. Look, I don't agree with any of those movements. Yeah, I think that we've broken it down. Who's funding it? The ideology behind it. The people are. But that doesn't mean I want to see them, nailed to a stake, kind of, or nailed to a cross.
But that's not the question. The question is, do you think it was needed?
What was
was
needed?
violence needed to stop them?
I think there needed to be a more stern approach in cutting that violence.
Okay, but how do you do that? They're
Mm.
burning down buildings, smashing cars, turning over shops, all sorts, and then what? The police just say, "Please stop," or what do you?
You'd have to have a serious crackdown.
So that's what I'm talking about.
But
So, same thing, innit?
But then those people then need to go to a trial and then get prosecuted in a court of law. That doesn't mean you put them in a dungeon torture. As much as I might, maybe say, "Oh, that would be."
Don't say it. Don't say it. I think I know what you're gonna say.
But I'm saying that you
Don't
can't
say
do
it,
that, and you
Treble.
shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But in Iran, that's what they do, bruv. And I'm saying that's right.
But okay, but at the same
Are you saying
time,
it's right?
but at the same time, we don't. Okay, so I showed you that screenshot of the CIA agent, right? How do you know how many of those are insurgents who are causing those problems? Insurgent groups
In where?
in Iran. If he's saying that Mossad agents are among them in Iran,
So are you saying?
so how do you know these? This how you know how insurgents work, right? They go in, they find a group of people, they pay them a certain amount of money, and they say, "We want you to push this ideology because we want to take this regime out of power." There's loads of examples. If you look it up, you'll probably find loads of examples of it throughout history. It's how the CIA bring about regime change. So if that's the case, who's right or wrong here? We don't know. Could it be the case that it's insurgents, or is it just that they're just freaking really brutal, evil people?
What I would say though is apparently, don't know how true this is, the UK has foiled in the last year alone 20 terrorist attacks that have originated from funded by the Iranian regime. Yeah.
In the UK.
Yeah. I could have had even 25% of them.
Who's that? Scotland Yard reporting that?
That's what Keir Starmer said at PMQs the other day. He was like, there's been 20 attacks that they've managed to stop.
But on the flip side, I could argue I don't believe these guys and the statistics that come out from them. Other thing as well.
Mate, you just told me you're getting involved in a certain organization, and she just sat there, literally told you a whole load of things that that Freemasonry within that organization exists. So
for sure.
How much can I trust that? This is what I'm about. Like, what do you trust?
Yeah, no, it's true.
This goes back to my original point, which you started challenging, is who do you trust? Like I can't hand on heart. Like there was people like, bro, remember there was a point where I stopped talking to my mate about the whole thing that happened in 2020 and 2022. Remember?
Yeah, a lot of people.
Remember? I had to cut off with him in the end, yeah, because he was getting on my nerves. Because when someone's taking a piss at you, you're providing evidence. Well, fuck this, fuck you, and all. And I jumped out of our group chat. My other mate turned around and said, he goes, he's incentive, whether he agrees with you or not, he needs to understand. And he goes, to be fair, you're giving good arguments. You're not just saying it. You're providing evidence and points. Yeah, he's just being obviously ignorant as they do. And I thought, fuck this, I'm not going to waste my time with you. Then if something happens to you because you've taken that, I'm just going to say, told you so, in your face. I would just say, I told you so. Why didn't you listen to me? It's actually your own fault you didn't listen to your mate. Yeah. So who do you trust? And that's my best mate. I've known him 30 years.
Well, this is the thing. I agree.
And he's giving me loads of people I know, even my sister, even loads of people are giving me information outside of that sort of stuff. And I've gone and looked down and gone, well, actually, that's not the truth. You're not telling me because you want me to buy into your ideology, or you want me to buy into your opinion and support it. But actually, when I research it myself, that's not true.
So what is that? Is there no McDonald's or Starbucks in Iran? Is that what they're trying to implement?
I don't know if they do have. Check that out, actually, but I've never looked into that. I haven't checked that out.
Okay, because again,
because they have shopping malls. They have really nice shopping malls. I've seen like some videos on thing where they actually do have really nice shopping malls and everything. It's all clean and it's not like a shithole or like a third world country. So it's quite. Do you know what I mean? Like that from what I've seen, but I don't live in there, right? But in terms of corporate, if that's what you mean, that I'm not too sure. But you'd have to ask. So when let's check it out now.
What I'm trying to say is, look, I don't know what to believe. I don't know who to trust. I get that.
But that's what I was trying to say, and you're jumping all over it because you're trying to turn it into some Islamic thing.
But
you're trying to turn it into some Islamic debate.
They don't have either of those. They're
going to get some America now.
They existed before the 1970s.
That means they're healthier than us, bruv.
But it disappeared afterwards. So once Ayatollah came in, all of that was gone. So, but
they got rid of all the westernized.
You see knockoff versions though, apparently. So. Because people still like the food style, so they've made their own. I've seen this in certain countries, like Macedonia as well. It's called Mashdonald's.
They did that with Russia as well.
Yeah,
when they stopped at the beginning of the Ukraine war, when they started putting sanctions on them and even blockading products going in there. Russians just started doing their own versions of stuff.
Yeah, Mashdonald's, Pizza Hut, ZFC.
Did you say Mashdonald's?
Mashdonald's, yeah. They look similar, but have no connections to the real companies. So, are there any American companies in Iran? So, very few operate directly. Most cannot legally do so because of US sanctions. So, tech, Apple iPhones, but they're sold unofficially through resellers. Food and drinks, Coke or Pepsi products, sometimes imported indirectly. Media online platforms like Google and Instagram use digitally, not physically operating stores, but almost no official American retail chains. Wow.
Right, so nothing.
But at face value, all I'm saying is...
A bit like Cuba, yeah. Pretty much communist in that sense. Like old school communism. Like, I mean, you used to wear all of that in
Do you agree with that then?
China and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that level of old school communism as a government rule?
What's your point of your question? Just spit it out. What? Here we go. We're going to go back to the actual... He wants to just say, Islam is evil! That's all he wants. And he's not going to get that.
I'm not going to say
Well, save that debate for when we talk about Islam.
It's not about the religion. It's about the extremist regime that they're using under the guise of the religion. It's nothing to do with the religion.
Bollocks, you should hear these lot in the group chat, yeah? Right? Anyway, I'm going to go back to making my point, which is that anyone could be manipulating you, even the people that your closest friends or the people who love you. Your mum and dad could be manipulating you.
No, true.
Yeah, blood can manipulate you. All right, so you shouldn't buy everything whole, because someone's might be trying to convert you into an ideology to support theirs, so they get more strength, more power behind their ideology, and eventually it wins. That's what they're hoping for. So you got to be careful with these sort of things. But ultimately, when the way I look at it is that what I've said is the whole prophecy. That's what's going to come out here in the end. And that's the thing that you really should be worried about, other than these sort of debates that Treble wants to bring up every time, which is oh, Islam is the engine taking over. Oh, I can't get my bacon double cheeseburger at my local McDonald's. But that's more of a Waz thing, because Waz cries about that all the time, yeah. But I feel you though, bruv. I like a bit of bacon now and then, yeah. But at the same time, yeah, like you're getting lost with the wrong things, because the stuff that are going to end up enslave you is nothing what you're talking about right now. Let me tell you that now. And then you're going to sit there and I do agree with this bit with David Icke. He says it all the time. You know, one day you're going to sit there with your kids and they're going to say, how did this happen? And then you're going to have to say, well, we kind of let it happen. And that's where I kind of stand with it, man. Anyway, look,
Yeah.
I mean, we've gone on now for like close to 2 hours, man. So I want to cut this short. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure we're going to have another debate pretty soon. I'm sure something's going to kick off massive again. We'll be back doing a 7th episode in this series. As always, guys, like, share, and subscribe. We are going to try and put up some more content once Mr. Wage Slaver over here stops doing all his overtime. And he's working hard, though, and I give him that. He's working hard. He's trying to stack them peas, in it. Yeah.
Before the global collapse, isn't
it? But hey, it's smart. Yeah. I would advise everyone to keep cash in their pocket at home, just in case. Yeah, you can never know what's going to happen. Cyber attacks, whatever. They're all it's going off everywhere. My company had one early on this year, and we're still trying to recover. And we're still trying to recover. Yeah. And we haven't fully recovered, and it's been a year now. Yeah. But as I always said, like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, I'm Cypher.
I'm Treble.
And I'm Waz.
And we out.
I don't know.
Bro, you're usually better than that. Come on, man.
Put me on the spot.
I shouldn't have to.
Oh.